New study with old DNA is Overwrite history in India, and shows how its civilization is the outcome of repeated old migrations, writes Tony Joseph. Who are the Indians? And wherever did they go of? In the recent few years, the discussion above these questions has been more than warmed. Indian order wingers trust the resource of Hindu civilization are human beings who named themselves Aryans, a nomad tribal of equine riding, bovine rearing host and herders who come Hindu's senior sectarian texts, the Vedas. The Aryans, they claim, born of India and later distribution through big components of Asia and Europe, help set up the household of Indo-European languages how Europeans and Indians yet say present. As it happens, lot 19th age Europe ethnographers or, of year, largest dashingly, Adolf Nazi, as well deliberate Aryans the wizard racing who had defeated Europe, though the Deutsche deliberate them to be of Scandinavian origin. While scholars use the period Aryan, it refers to a team of human beings who tell Indo-European languages and named themselves Aryans. And how I include utilized it in the paper. It does not relate to a racing, as Nazi utilized it or as several in the Indian order Fender use it. Lot Hindu scholars include surveyed the of India dissertation, disputing how these Indo-European tongue speakers, or Aryans, were perhaps fair one of lot streams of primitive migrants who arriving in India following the decrease of an over-civilization. The was the Harappan, or Indus Valley, civilization, that thrived in which is now polar western India and Pakistan about the identical period as the Egyptians and Mesopotamians. Yet, Indian order wingers trust the Harappan civilization was as well an Aryan or Veda civilization. Tensions among the two groups supporting these opposed theories include just enlarged in the recent few years, particularly with the Indian nationalist Bharatiya Janata side, BJP, came to force in India in 2014. In the length-running controversy has now stepped the comparatively new subject of people genetic, that has begun with old DNA to drawing out while human beings excited wherever. Teaching with old DNA include been overwrite history all above the planet in the recent few years and in India, down there has been one enchanting opening following else. The largest latter research on the object, led by geneticist David Reich of Harvard College, was published in March 2018 and company authored by 92 scholars of all above the planet, lot of them guideline names in disciplines as various as genetic, story, archaeology and anthropological. The research showed how down there were two main migrations in India in the recent 10,000 year. The at first one born of the Zagros area in southward western Iran, that has the planet's at first testimony for nanny goat tame, and driven agriculturists, largest potential herders, to India. The would include been among 7003, 000 BCE. These Zagrosian herders blended in the overpopulation of the Indian subcontinent, the at first Indians, descendants of the out of Africa, OOA, migrants who had achieved India about 65,000 years ago, and along, they went on to build the Harappan civilization. In the centuries following 2000 BCE came the other set of migrant, this Aryans, of the Eurasian prairie, perhaps of the area now named as Kazakhstan. They potential driven in them and previous release of Sanskrit, skill above horses and a band of new culture practices such as sacrifice rituals, all of that shaped the base of previous Indian/Vedic civilization. 1,000 year up, human beings of the prairie had as well excited in Europe, substitute and mix in agriculturists down there, spawn new cultures and propagating Indo-European languages. Some gene teaching include driven to lighting more than migrations in India, such as how of the speakers of Austroasiatic languages who came of southward Eastern Asia. As I compose in my volume, the top way to know the Hindu people is to think it as a pizza, in the at first Indians shaping its basis. Although the basis of the quite uneven pizza is slim in several places and heavy in other, it yet serving as the supporting how the otherwise of the pizza is constructed on, since teaching Shah how 50% to 65% of the gene origin of Indians derives of the at first Indians. On top of the basis comes the dressing how is distribution above the pizza, the Harappans. And later go the filling and the cottage cheese, the Austroasiatic, Tibeto-Burman and Indo-European tongue speakers or Aryans, all of whom found their way in the Indian subcontinent after. For Indian nationalists, down there is a price to acknowledging how the Aryans were not the at first population of India and how the Harappan civilization existed length up their arrive. It would indicate confirming how Aryans or their Veda civilization were not the odd source of Hindu civilization and how its one source lay in another place. India's younger Secretary for Humane Source Growth, Satyapal Singh, was newly cited in the print as proverb, just Veda formation can educate our family so and do them patriots who include psychological subject. The concept of the mix of various people groups is as well unattractive to Indian nationalists as they put a prize on race cleanliness. Down there is as well the further question of the migrating theoretical setting Aryans on the identical basis as last-day Muslim conquerors of India, such as the Mughals. These are not fair theoretic debates. The governing BJP by the government in Haryana country, that neighbors the Hindu equity Delhi, has claimed how the Harappan civilization be renamed the Saraswati inland civilization. With the Saraswati is an essential inland how is aforementioned in the one of the four persons Veda texts, such a rename would be to emphasize the connection among the civilization and the Aryans. The new research puts an end to these debates and it has therefore go as a upheaval to the Indian order wing. In a chirp offensive its company author Professor Reich, governing side MP and ex-Harvard College Prof Subramanian Swamy told, down there are put, condemned put and, Harvard's tertiary Reich and companies, statistic. Yet, the actual communication how the new study carries is in breathtaking and encouraging how Indians include created a length-lasting civilization of a kind of heredities and histories. The genie of the Hindu civilization for its top periods has been insertion, not exception. Oneness in variety is, really, the center topic of India's gene dup. Tony Joseph is the writer of Previous Indians, The History of Our Ancestors and Wherever We Came of, published by Juggernaut.